Hey, welcome to Family Chats with Pastor Dean Ross of Family Church Nola, where we love God passionately and we love people personally. I'm looking at our yard right here at our church property at 3233 Loyola Drive in Kenner, Louisiana. And preparing this Saturday, we have a grand reopening block party. And why is it a grand reopening? Well, here's the quick story of Family Church. God brought two church plants together, Restoration Church and Crossroads Community Church, historically replants themselves, and brought us together in March of 2020. And if you didn't know what happened in March of 2020, but the world shut down from the COVID-19 pandemic. And so we spent that year kind of building our core team through Zoom meetings, and then we were able to get together in person and wear masks, and we really saw it as, hey, yes, this is inconvenient, this isn't what we expected, but God has a great plan for all these things. He works everything out for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose, Romans 8:28. And so we met together, and then we had a grand opening scheduled on our calendar for September of 2021, the weekend after Labor Day. And then on the anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, end of August 29th, Hurricane Ida rolls through southeast Louisiana and impacts our city, Kenner, Louisiana. Now, we knew that our grand opening wasn't going to quite be what we had expected, but we also know that God had a plan. And so we prayed and we asked God, would you give us an opportunity to feed people? And literally, we thought maybe we would be able to feed a couple hundred people, a few hundred meals. But God sent a partner church our way with a network of other supporting churches. And we were able to feed 10,000 hot meals 2 straight weekends out of this field in this parking lot that I'm parked in. And 10,000 hot meals to people who were desperately in need. And then we had on our grand opening day that had been planned, we set up a tent in this yard, and we had over 100 people gathered in the heat under the tent. It was an incredible, incredible, incredible time of worship. We were able to give out thousands of supplies, literally serve hundreds of families individually, going to their homes, different things like that. And then a few months after that, we were getting our building back together. We were working on a roofer coming to look at our roof. We knew we had roof damage. We had some other minor damage. But we began to see some mildew and mold and moisture issues show up, that because of the unique space that we have where we worship on a second floor sanctuary, and a lot of the issues showed up on the bottom floor, we had to vacate our property. And God blessed us for about 9 months, a little more than 9 months. We were able to gather in a property in Metairie, Louisiana, provided by our partners at the New Orleans Baptist Association. And then this past December, we embarked and we invested into our space and with manpower, money, all of it, time, talent, treasure. And this December, we gathered again in our space here in Kenner for the first time. Now, this coming Saturday, we have a grand reopening block party scheduled. And you know what? If you look at the radar, it says, in the weather forecast, it says that we're going to have rain. Well, challenges are nothing that we don't face regularly as Christians or the body of Christ. In fact, the first Sunday during COVID that we were allowed to meet in person by, the governor, allowed certain groups to gather, and the first Sunday we had a tropical storm hit literally like that night and that morning. Nothing good is without challenge, and I'm reminded of Habakkuk, the book of Habakkuk, one of my favorite books, by the way. Maybe it's because when I was a kid I couldn't pronounce it. Maybe I thought I was coughing Habakkuk, but I love the book of Habakkuk. And what we see is that Habakkuk opens the book by complaining to God. And then God tells him in Habakkuk 1, verse 5, I'm reading out of the CSB here. He says, "Look at the nations and observe and be utterly astounded. For I am doing something in your days that you would not believe when you hear about that." Let's hear that again. Look at the nations and observe and be utterly astounded, be utterly amazed. I'm doing something in your days that you wouldn't believe even if you'd heard about it. We believe that God is up to something. It doesn't matter what challenges we face. It doesn't matter what life may throw our way. In fact, the Chaldeans or the Babylonians were about to bring Israel here into exile, and God graciously answers the prophet Habakkuk's complaint. Well, Habakkuk, he complains again, and God graciously answers him again. And then Habakkuk chapter 3, verse 2, he says, Lord, I've heard of your fame. I stand in awe of your deeds, O Lord. Renew them in our day, in our time make them known, in your wrath remember mercy. Now what that means is that no matter what may come, Lord, be merciful to us and keep us and sustain us. And that's what we believe, not only for 2023, but for every season to come. God is faithful. And you know what? Sometimes when you think opportunities have passed or challenges are in your way, God provides an even better opportunity to love God passionately and love people personally. God bless, and I will look forward to hearing from you next time. Catch up with us online at jointhefamily.church.